Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Joe here with Three Corners of Horror. Yep, we're missing one of our corners tonight. Rick is working on a film. It's just a production part. It's not an actor. I'm the pretty one here. But Rick, we'll see you next week. Let me say hello to my host here, my brother JR. How are you doing?
Hey, another addition to a franchise, or is it a franchise hunting for a hit?
Ooh, that's a good one. I love how you and I have the back and forth. For me, I did like the movie. I guess was I eaten up by prey, or am I going to be the predator and devour prey? With that, we are discussing the Hulu exclusive 2022 movie Prey. The movie is directed by Dan Trachtenberger. He did 10 Cloverfield Lane, and he also directed some of Prime Video's The Boys. The movie stars Amber Midthunder. To some people, she may be known from Roswell, New Mexico. Me, however, I know her from Legion, which was an awesome series. All right, JR, so let's get into this. Let me know what your thoughts were on this film.
I'm always a sucker for films that go back in time to certain, data. This one was 1719. I kind of like the fact that it did kind of bring back the Comanche tribe, which is in this country's history, they were one of the greatest hunters ever to exist in history. So I kind of like that. I like the Naru. Her character was I'm a fan of hers. I mean, I was a fan of hers in Legion, but this one, the fact that she's actually a member of the Fort Peak Sioux tribe, which is even better because if you don't know me by now, I hate when they whitewash characters, and the fact that they brought Native people with actually Native American descent to make a film about Native American descent was even better. Yeah, I mean, I have some issues with the film, but overall, I think it's a good film. They properly, represented the Native American, and it's gonna be interesting to see how deeper we dive into this.
All right, all right. Well, for me, honestly, I went in with some really low expectations. After Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Next of Kin, um, I was like, all right, just don't really put a lot of thought into it. It might not be great. There are some parts I'm gonna nitpick, but honestly, overall, I really did enjoy this movie. Let me get the water. Samper. Right, cut it down.
All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, this is a part of the Predator universe, I guess we're going to call it. You have a whole lot of franchises, including the Aliens. Some of us like them, some of us don't. Um, Junior, where do you think that this fit with the other Predator movies that we've all seen?
I mean, the original's always going to be the original. The original's always number one. I mean, it showed the Predator itself. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Carl Weathers, great freaking cast. I mean, that's always going to remain number one. I'm going to put this one third after the Predators with Adrian Brody because that film was actually really good. I was a
It was.
big fan of this one. This one right underneath it. I mean, I'm not going to even count the Predator versus Alien films because those were just garbage. Those movies I had expectation for and they fell so flat. But yeah, I mean, this one definitely number three. I mean, watching this, you guys know me by now. I'm a fan for a great story, and
Yeah.
this actually had a great story. I was actually watching this with my mom, and I told her, I said, you can actually remove the predator from this film, and it's actually a coming of age story for a Native American woman who's trying to prove to everybody that she's just not another member of a tribe that she can hunt with the men. And her character was extremely. I mean, I liked her a lot. I mean, I think she did a great job with the character. A lot of growth in it, and I mean, we'll see what happens. How did she match up with I don't know Schwarzenegger's toe to toe at the end?
We'll find out. For me, what I love nostalgia in horror movies. I like old movies because there's no cell phone, there's no technology. In the original Predator, they had machine guns, they had all kinds of weapons. This movie removed all technology. I mean, there is nothing but plain. I mean, I think at the most you had a pistol
Yeah.
that Naru was being taught how to use. I mean, that's as far as you got. So this was primal, the Cherokee, which was, as you said, it was wonderfully done in this movie. It was great to have the representation. Um, I'll bring this up a little bit later on that, but there's a little nitpick part I have on that. But I dug the fact that it showed man versus the predator because all through the movie he was going through and basically trying to find the apex predator or the alpha predator, and that's what he was capturing. So in this movie, yes, it showed a woman. Honestly, if you go IMDb, there's some negative parts about this. Guys, man, just give it a break.
Yeah.
Women can kick ass. We have seen many women kick ass. Ripley has been kicking ass for years. So let's give other women a chance to sit here and shine because honestly, Naru was, besides her brother, which I know JR is going to bring up, Naru is one of the best part of this film. It's not often because Ripley gave that. Ripley gave you the heart, and Naru also gave you the heart in this movie. So for me, that's like I just love that we eliminated big weapons. It was just hand to hand combat, which is just awesome because he was there to find out who the apex predator was. Anything else you got on that part, JR?
No, no. I mean, I agree. I like the fact that you had to use your wits to really go toe to toe against this predator. And honestly, this predator actually did look pretty cool compared to the other predators from the past. I kind of like the whole like his skull he had, his helmet was just it looked so cool. It looked like it belonged in that era, which I mean it helped the film a lot. I mean, I
It
thought
was prim-
that was cool as hell.
it was primitive because if you
Yes.
look, because I want to say this took place 300 years before Arnold Schwarzenegger's one. So compared to what we saw them use in that movie to that one, yeah, I thought the
Yeah.
same thing. At first, I was like, and I'm like, wait a minute, it's 300 years ago. So if
Yeah.
anything, it's showing how advanced they got after they met us. So basically, Naru was the first human to show that there are some humans out here that can take you down. There was a lot of action in this film. There were some slow parts. However, this movie was a man, Rick, you would have been happy to talk about the fact that it was a 1 hour and 39-minute runtime. And I think that's with just credits extra. So thankfully we had a short film. But Junior, what was one of your favorite like fight scenes or the moments in this movie?
I mean, everybody's always gonna pinpoint the final fight scene where you got Naru finally one on one with the Predator, and I give her credit the way she killed him off. Spoiler, she kills him. If you don't figure this out by now, you kind of know she's gonna kill him. But the fact that she uses home technology against him and she set up the helmet. I mean, at one point she started setting up knives, and I'm thinking like, oh god, they're gonna go the Predator, original Predator route, and I was kind of very like hesitant. I was like, please don't do it, please don't do it, please don't do it. But that whole sequence where she's going toe to toe with him, I mean, she got her shots in, he got his shots in.
Yeah.
I like the back and forth. Um, However, I think this fight sequence when the Predator was fighting her brother was just so good. The fact that he came in with the horse, knocked the helmet out. I mean, he was the toe to toe they were having was so good between them. I mean, I kind of I understood why they did what they did to have the final fight between Naru and the Predator, but I kind of felt kind of cheated a little bit. Tabi, played by Dakota Beavers, who actually has ties to Indian ancestry as well. So I mean, here's another, and he actually spoke about how in this film he loved the fact that they had the Native American representation done well as the producer of the film is also Native American.
Oh,
But
I didn't know that.
yeah, that whole fight sequence was good, and the fact that the Predator had to disappear, so Predator actually got scared of the brother to the point where he had to disappear in order to beat the brother.
Yep. I
And
did notice that.
I didn't like that. I understood why they did it because they did want Naru to bring it home and be the hero. He always wanted her to be the hero, even even all the chances he gave her. I mean, you had that sequence where they're used as bait against a tree, and he told her, "Well, you weakened the line that we were hunting. I just happened to finish him off." So you were always knew to see the big picture. Well, basically, he always saw the short picture, and I mean that whole sequence with Tabi and Predator. I mean, just that overall, the last two fight scenes were. I mean, they were done very well. It showed you more and more how the Comanche tribe is just amazing at fighting.
Yeah, I could not agree more. I had my other parts. Thank God you mentioned yours because I knew you were gonna like that fight.
Yeah.
So that fight was awesome. I sat there holding my breath. I love when I can watch a movie and I hold my breath just because you're in that moment in the movie. So that was one of those you're in the moment shots in the movie. I need some water. All right, well, me too. I also have two scenes in this movie that really stood out for me. We've all talked about cinematography a lot. I mean, we love shots. One of my favorite scenes is when she's running through the field. I want to say it's wheat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's running through, and she's taking off, and you're sitting there like, shit, can I run that fast? Like I'm thinking that, and then you get the the shot from above as she's running away, and you're seeing that the field is kind of just everything is standing up, and then all of a sudden you see it looked like he was covered in blood because it wasn't it turning was it turning red as he was running?
Yeah, because he killed his friend.
All
Because he
right.
killed the other guy.
Yeah, so I thought that scene was freaking awesome. Like same thing. I held my breath. Like holy shit, can I? Like I couldn't outrun him, so he would have gotten me. But I just loved the cinematography in that scene. It was beautiful. You felt yourself in that moment. And then it's another part that I've seen also online question, but guess what? I liked it too. Which was the bear fight because all along he's walking around trying to find the alpha predator out there and he comes across this bear and she's trying to run away. I did kind of wonder one thing. Answer it to me at the end. Was that a beaver dam or did the Cherokee build that dam in the water?
It was a beaver.
It kind of looked like it was for human.
It was beaver.
But however, when she's running, when Naru's running away from the bear, and the predator shows up, and the bear can sniff him out, and the fight scene, even though it's CGI, I didn't care. It wasn't questionable to me. Looking at it, it was actually pretty fucking cool, especially when the bear was getting his shots in that you saw was short circuiting his armor, and you were seeing him more. And then the bear thought he won. He starts walking away. Turns around because he realized, oh, he's still there. He goes for him. Predator knocks him out, but I love that scene because at that point, that was the first time, up until he ends up meeting Naru and her brother, that he found someone equal to his strength because the bear did take him down.
Oh yeah, he heard him.
Oh yeah, he heard him. So I thought that was an awesome scene. I screw what the people are saying about the questionable CGI. Didn't even fucking care. It looked awesome. One of my favorite scenes in the movie.
Nitpick one. I wasn't really a fan of the way he was introduced at first. When she saw him in the sky, the ship in the sky, and all of a sudden, next sequence, you see a ship leaving, then him just coming out. I didn't like that. I thought they could have just started with him killing something or somebody from the get go. I mean,
Agreed.
You want a shock value of what he really is. Don't just make him, oh look, here I am, and then he walks away. I wasn't a fan of that part. I would say one big disappointment for me was you had the lead up to him fighting the poachers, and it was a letdown only because you could have had all out just massacre with all of them there, and it would have looked cool, a scene of him basically coming out of being invisible, and they're all just lined up pointing their guns at him. Because the minute he started jumping on the trees, that was awesome. I love that scene that he was doing that. But you could have went deeper with that and have him slaughter everybody together because some of the kills were awesome. The one where he threw the 3 detonators on the floor, come on, dude. You could easily take those 3 guys out. There was no need for that. And the explosion was
Well, and I was still trying to figure out if there were grenades or if the thing split up and
I think they
spun
were
around.
like shrapnel things or something.
That yeah, so, okay, so it's similar to a kind of a grenade because the
But
guy had the
show
one
it.
thing in the leg.
Yeah,
Yeah,
show
they
it.
said
Why?
you got the from above.
Yeah, I didn't get that. Then you go and you see the body parts, and he's sitting there. The last thing is there were some moments to drag. I know the hour and 39 minutes was a perfect runtime, but I feel like they could have shaved off another 15 minutes because the beginning sequence it dragged a little too much. I mean, we understood what she was trying to do, what her goal was, but did we really need all that immense character build in the beginning?
Yeah.
But that's my only nitpick on this.
All right, so unless I don't remember science all that well, the one nitpick I have is they had that sequence where you saw the ant, and then the rat ate the ant, and then the snake ended up eating the rat, and the predator caught him.
Yeah.
He goes by heat vision, and snakes are cold-blooded, so he would not have been able to detect the snake. I get that he was going for the apex predator thing, but like I'm sitting there going, hello, like normal science would tell you that he would not have been able to detect the snake. So I kind of felt it took a little bit away from the movie with them talking English. I would have liked for them to
Have
do the
subtitles.
Comanche, the subtitles. I would have been okay with subtitles. I get that they don't, it's a sci-fi horror movie, so they don't want people to complain about the fact they had to read through it.
Yeah.
But I already went in thinking that because it was supposed to, from what some of the stuff I read, they were keeping true to the Comanche and the Native American. So I thought I was going to read. And similarly, I don't know if you put it on for you, but when the French were talking, I I understood some of the words because
Yeah.
French is close to Spanish. Same thing. I would have liked a little bit subtitles on that part. Like that's like my honest nitpick. To be honest with you on that is that I would have preferred because how raw we were going back into the movie that we should have heard them talk Comanche.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's close this out. I watched this today. I'm not gonna lie. I watched it today before we decided to review. I watched it with my husband Adam and my sister-in-law Amy, and I kind of stood quiet as soon as we were done to see what they were gonna say. And both of them turned around. They're like, "I really like that." I'm like, "All right, good," because I really liked it too. And I mean, they're not fans like I am. Amy, who doesn't watch a whole lot of movies like this, like I said, she sat there and watched the whole movie. So, Junior, give us some closing thoughts here. What you think about the movie, and let me know what your rating is on this one.
I'll be honest, I like the movie. I start go by the thing. If you take the horror out of the movie and it's able to stand on its own, it's a good movie. Naru, Amber Midthunder did a hell of a job playing Naru. I think she is a rising star, and I would love to see. I would love to see her more in horror because she could
Yeah,
definitely do horror slash action. This was a good addition to the Predator franchise. The franchise has been lagging for years, honestly, of where to go and what direction. Um, I like the movie, enjoyable. Like I said, I have some nitpicks on it, some things they could have did better, but I always say that about every movie. But for me, I'm going to give it a 4. It is an enjoyable film. You should watch it. See if you agree with what we nitpicked on it. But yeah, definitely, it's a fun watch. The action sequences are really good. Cinematography, beautiful. The drone shots, amazing. I mean, anything that's done in the wilderness, I'm a big fan of. And yeah, I give it a 4.
all right, yeah. I did also love the shots. Like I know that I criticized it during Next of Kin, but that was totally different. That was supposed to be found footage. But I loved all the above shots. And you're still living up in Connecticut. I mean, I'm in Florida, so I don't have these woods. So seeing all that as I'm looking, I'm like, man, I miss walking through the woods. Like, um, the one thing I don't know if you noticed, I thought they were gonna do it, and then when they didn't, I thought it was great. Was when she went into the quicksand
Yeah.
and she comes out and she's completely covered. And I told her, Amy and Adam, I'm like, you guys remember Predator, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the mud. And then they didn't do it.
No.
Like I was so happy they didn't do it. I'm like, oh, they're gonna go lazy. Like I was happy because they were gonna show how she figured it out. And then they didn't do it. However, that little small scene, that was a great scene.
No, it was.
For me, so yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4. I did have it like I was gonna try to separate it between just sci-fi horror and the regular horror. But yeah, no, for me it's also a 4. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, you can shave time off,
Yeah.
but this was a great addition to the Predator franchise. Well, with that said, hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you guys didn't miss Rick, but make sure to hit the subscribe button, follow so you can get those updates, and we will be checking you out. My brother JR, until next time,
peace.
And for me, Joe, we're out.